So this is the view that you get after starting the application.
Okay.
And this is the view you get. In this case, it's a special admin user that is allowed everything in the system. But you can also start it as a normal user. Then you have way less options
No
on the left. So you can
Yeah.
configure the system on what functionality a certain user is supposed to see and do, and then you can.
Clear.
The view is going to be exactly what the user is supposed to see and what he's supposed
Clear.
to use. Okay.
Okay.
We have the main thing in this case is we have an input processing and an output processing.
Okay.
We differentiate this. This has nothing to do with incoming or outgoing messages, but every payment in whichever direction it needs to go is going through the input processing. Then we have a so-called clearing, and then the output. This has to do with maybe I should start here. You can see all the different kinds of payments in the system at the moment.
I see. Okay.
This is just an example of what is possible, or just the information that I got at the moment. So here you have the tabs with incoming and outgoing.
I see.
And everything in incoming is what we receive from your core system, what we receive from, I don't know, TIPS or SEPA or Target or Swift or whatever. And then the clearing system is supposed to divide these payments into where they need to go. For incoming payments, you can then decide on whether they have to go to your core system, whether they have to go to one of the clearing systems. And this is where you can see there's a column called routing.
Routing, okay.
And the routing is where you want the payment to go. For example, in this case, it was something that needs to go to the German Federal Bank. In this case, it was a SWIFT payment. In this case, it was an incoming Target payment. In this case, it was an incoming SWIFT, outgoing SWIFT, incoming instant payment, outgoing instant payment, and so on.
I see.
So you can decide on where the system needs to be routed to. And then I'm going to switch to the administrative part because you can see all the options, but this is something that you usually have to set up once. And from this point on, everything goes automatically if you wanted to.
I see.
So we have the so-called clearing. This is where you can define all your routings.
Okay.
For example, if I go to the that's an incoming one. Let's take an outgoing one. In this case, you can decide on. You can set criteria where you say which kind of formats.
I see.
This routing has to take care of. And for example, with an SCT PAX 08, you can also decide in this routing use only payments from a sender bank, where you can define a BIC or an IBAN. Who's the beneficiary? Do you have certain minimum and maximum amounts? Do you have certain return codes, purpose codes, and so on and so on? And then decide where to go to.
I see.
So you can then define an output destination.
Okay.
And the output destination is where you can set what kind of format you want. So do you want to send it as a Swift MX? Do you want to send it as a Swift MT? Do you want to send it as a SEPA, PAIN, PAX? Or this is special for German Federal Bank, Central Link, JSON, Instant, and so on and so on. And on the left side, you can decide whether you want to check the outgoing files against one of the rulebooks. So this checks against the schemes from the Federal Bank, from the German Federal Bank, and you see the output format is predefined. You can't change it anymore. The target file name is predefined. If you go to target 2, for example, it changes to Swift MX. and then you can decide, is it a queue or is it a hard drive or is it FileAct or whatever you want.
I see.
And the really interesting thing about this is that you can handle the whole input, the routing and so on, for example, for a SwiftMT file, but send it out as an MX. Or you can send it out as an instant payment, or you can send it out as a standard SEPA payment.
I see.
So you can, it's very variable regarding the formats, because we internally process everything as an XML file.
I see.
So you can send us whatever you want, and the only thing you need to then decide is what kind of format you need on this output.
I see. Okay.
So this is very, very, very variable.